for us. To learn to win a road game and come back the way we did was special. And then the 2 games at home, play more than 10 guys, have a bunch of them see the ball go in. I think it really allowed a couple guys off the bench like Amar and Joe to grow up a little bit, be re-engaged, let us try small ball, and get a couple things just kind of set for what we might do for adjustments long-term in league. But overall, three really positive days for us, and the fact that 2 of them were at home is even better. Going into this week, we know how good St. Mary's is. Really special basketball team, top 20 defense in the country. It's going to be incredibly difficult to fly the ball all the way out there and then handle them. Special point guard, special 4 and 5 men, huge basketball team, so the rebounding thing will really matter. We know how good St. Mary's is. They've won 3 straight WCCs. Obviously I worked for Mark Few and Gonzaga, and people just make this assumption that Gonzaga wins that league every year. And 3 years ago they split the league, they tied, but the last 2 St. Mary's won it outright. And so really special coach, incredibly solid program. It'll be a great test for us, and we're really looking forward to the next couple of days of practice and preparing for that. So we're hoping a lot of what happened last week can vault us into a special place over the next couple of games before Christmas. So any questions you have?
Hey, Coach. Just kind of wondering, where do you feel like this team grew the most over this 3-game win streak?
I think the combination of defense from the second half of St. Leo, the second half of switching from FGCU, and the first half of defense from Albany, which I thought was our best defense all year. It's not where it needs to be, where it's carrying through 2 halves, but it's significantly improved. I'm really thankful for that 2 of the 3 games. Not only are we making free throws, but we're getting to the line at a rate that I think is good enough to allow us to win games in league. The offensive rebounding continues to be a tipping point as we do better there. I'm thankful for that. And probably the sweetest thing about the end of that 3 weeks is the last game we had 24 assists on 38 baskets. So the assist percentage is finally back to where I think it can be for us. So those would be some of the main areas. And then just as Kanan comes back from his injury, I thought it allowed Johan and Nico to have some really good moments. And then, like I said earlier, I just felt like the young freshman wings had a chance to get back in a real positive way.
And how much do you feel like that adversity on the road at FGCU can help you guys on this next 2-game trip?
Oh, it's amazing for us. I think the first time in adversity at Liberty, we did the best to survive, but it was rough. I really think from that point till now, down 19 against George Mason, we cut it to 3. There was much more fight than there was at Liberty, and now we've overcome. Now, I said this earlier, I don't want to overcome anything. I'd love to play from the lead the whole time. And the chance that on the road you're going to be playing from behind, I thought it was a really good thing for us at FGCU.
And in terms of Josiah, we kind of talked about it more after FGCU, but in terms of the last couple of games, how do you feel like he's continued to grow after that kind of breakout performance?
Yeah, the scoring is fun. It's nice to see him to get up to 8 points a game the last couple games. He had a good week. I think he was 7 of 8 in the one game. All that is very sweet, but that's just not exactly where we're headed with this thing. Where we're headed with this thing is accountability, the defense, the small ball 5, the mismatches that he allows us to play through and act, and then this switching 1 to 5, the defense. I just think overall that other stuff is how he's going to really impact who we are. The scoring is going to come naturally. We just got to keep him there. He still has some freshman moments with the palms up, but we need to put the palms down and focus on the defensive end. And then I still think not just a mismatch thing that he has for us at both the 4 and 5. A big guy can't stay in front of him. A smaller guy can't handle him at the rim as he learns to get there. But just the rebounding would be I think he has a chance to be the best rebounding forward. Maybe even our league, once he realizes how good he can be at that. He's got to do it every time. So we're working on all those little things, and he's been much more coachable the last couple of weeks. I'm really thrilled with his growth, but this is just, to me, the beginning. As long as he sees it that way, we're going to have a great second semester. He's going to become a sophomore real quick in January, and that's where I think another leap is coming.
Hey, Coach, looking at St. Mary's, they obviously have Paulius Moruskas as an aggressive inside scorer with 18 points a game, and they have a sharpshooter in Mikey Lewis who's shooting almost 45% from downtown. What's going to be key in keeping those guys occupied and having a hard time on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see a Lewis ball screen, a Lewis action, or a post up with Morauskas, and you're going to see a bunch of it, and you're going to see it at a pace that is slower than we want to play. I think they're like 275 to 300 in pace of play. They literally don't care. Slow is their friend, and if they can play from the lead, they're going to allow Mikey to get a shot late in the shot clock or Morauskas to post up down the stretch. And then their rebounding is really special. The one kid's 7-1 and the other 7-3, so our backside crackdowns are going to matter. So Morauskas doesn't miss much, but on the chance that he does and we've got to double or rotate, the guard against a 7-3 kid on the weak side is really going to matter. So They control pace and margin as good as anybody in the country, and that margin is for sure found in the fact that their twos are almost more valuable than threes. That's pretty rare because of how efficient they are within the paint and the way they can attack through Morauskas. So we're going to have to handle that, and we'll spend the week getting ready for that for sure.
And looking at number 45, Andrew McKeever, who averages 10 rebounds a game as a potential double-double threat. How much of the responsibility is going to fall on Devin Williams, Xander, and the other guys in the front court to outmatch him inside the paint?
Yeah, I mean, we've said earlier and pretty consistently, rebounding is our key. When we do that, we tend to have a chance to win games. And we're not going to beat him one-on-one rebounding. We should just all admit that to ourselves right now. So whoever gets back on defense for them, that guard better come back and help. And we're going to need 2 or 3 guys weak side boxing him out. One will not be enough. So we'll get in the habit of sending a second and third guys, like putting 2 on the ball on the ball screen to make sure Mikey doesn't get a shot off. Well, when the ball's in the air, you better put 2 on the keeper or you're going to be in real trouble.
And last question, any chances for the team to have some downtime in sightseeing around the areas of the St. Mary's community?
Well, we will be there a day early to hopefully prepare. We'll land Wednesday night. We don't play till Friday to try to prepare for the time change. You know, a 7 o'clock game here is 2 p.m. our time. And then we've got to somehow come back and manage playing UCF pretty quickly back in our own time zone. So we are going there a day early. I would not call it sightseeing. I would call it NBA sleep preparation. So Zane Scott, our strength coach, is going to try to put us in the best position to handle the road the way these NBA teams do with the back-to-back. So they'll be sleeping and eating and preparing. We'll probably take them out to eat, but I don't know if there'll be any sightseeing beyond that.
Yeah, Coach, you got to play, like you said, your good roster basically the last couple of games. Does that give you a lot of confidence and flexibility depending on different types of matchups that you can use any of those guys?
Yeah, I wanted to find some shooting for teams that go zone against us. We were a little slow to handle FGCU's zone. I thought in that moment, let's get Max back for these kind of moments, Langenfeld, and I think they went zone against us 2 or 3 times. We hit a 3 every single time Albany went zone against us. So personnel and scheme can help with both those things. And then I do think in our league, the more we've watched it, the more we think having the ability to switch a 5 against some of the smaller teams is going to be a thing. And so we've gotten Amar and Josiah back in that regard. So we want to use this week to be healthy, get healthy, try new things, but we also have an eye on the future. And so some of that was just tinkering to see what's best to get us to our league. So all the information is good information, good and bad. I feel like we have good and bad information out of what we were trying last week. And so we'll use it to address our rotation, and then we'll use it to address our schemes. But it was really positive that way.
And Devin's, he's had a greater defensive end in terms of block shot.
Yeah.
And, he had his best offensive game. So is it starting to come together for him? Again, a guy who really hasn't played in almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, 13 is a career high for him. It's an incredibly positive thing. It's almost like we come into these press conferences, we take him for granted in the sense that it's like the 5 blocks is pretty significant. I mean, he's moved up to top 2, I think, in the country now. He was number 7 coming into last week. But the offense will help. We're 350th in experience. And him not playing in 2 years, I think, is a very underrated thing. As he gets into, we talk about Josiah and Amar, when they get to January, they're going to become sophomores, we hope. Well, Devin and Isaiah are going through the same exact thing because Isaiah didn't play much at USC. So that experience leap that people can't predict in analytics before the season and why maybe we're picked lower in league, we're hoping that's a double-edged sword and that comes back to our benefit. And as Devin Williams grows offensively, that's just one more thing we can add to our game planning, and we're really happy for him.